Let me begin by saying you are all my friends, so you can call me Pat. Long ago, when I came to Waverly first, I was introduced to a flibberty-gibbet as Mrs. Pat Coffie. And the little nitwit said, "Oh, you must be married to that librarian who's doing such good things in Waverly." I said, "I am that librarian." So after that, I signed things Patricia, so you won't mistake me for being Patrick's wife. Now, this is a modern day cautionary tale, and my friends say we all need to hear it. So 10 to 12 years ago, I was checking my credit card reports because I always look. And there were about a dozen little charges, all of them less than $5, dollar and a half, 29 cents. Well, I don't do that. So I called the credit card company and they said, today that's going to be a dollar and a half. But next month, if you don't catch it, it's going to be $150. So I worked with the credit card company and we managed to stop that attempted takeover. Then about 5 years later, my junk mail began to have someone's name and my address. I went to the post office and said, "Why is this? Can you put a stop to it?" And they said, "Oh, you don't want to stop it yet. You want to trace what this person is trying to do." So we watched, and eventually a membership organization sent that person a membership card, that woman's name, my address. I called the organization and they put a stop to that identity theft attempt. More recently, I did that thing we all know we're not supposed to do. I received this horrifying full computer screen warning, and it was from the company that does most of my work on the computer. So I read it, and it said, at 4:30 a.m. this very morning, someone accessed your debit account and it's money charged by Chinese hackers to a child pornography site. And I said, "Oh my God, help me. I don't know what I should do." And they said, "We can help. Dial this 800 number. Don't dial numbers." But I did. I mean, my God, they gotta help me. And I almost ended up thousands of dollars lost because I began to do what they told me to. They said, "Call this number." I was so alarmed, I did. The first person who answered was a woman. She said she was with Apple Computers. Well, I have Apple. She said, "I'll connect you with the man who is at the headquarters of your bank. Which bank do you use?" I said, "My bank." She said, "Okay, this is a very secret telephone number, but if you call, this man is in your bank's headquarters and will take care of you." Do any of you know where your bank's headquarters are? I didn't know. Why would I need to know? I was so alarmed, I started to do goofy things to solve the problem. The notice said, this is from the Facebook Messenger, and it said, these trigger words for me. This is from Windows Defender Security. You should call Windows Microsoft Support. And they gave me a toll-free number. And I thought, well, my God, I better do that. They're trying to get my money. Now, a man is on the line, and he says, now I'm going to stay on the line and help you. I'm at your headquarters of your bank. Here's what I want you to do first. Turn off your computer completely, because we don't know who else might be involved in this scam. Don't tell the police. Don't tell your bank. Don't tell anyone, because we think there are more people helping those Chinese hackers. And then they mentioned that 4:30 a.m. debit to my account to that child pornography ring. Well, I needed to accept some help to save my money. So I turned off the computer. I called the man at the bank headquarters. These scammers were really, really good. And I emphasize that partly because I don't want to seem to be so really, really stupid. I had an urgent message from someone at my bank while the scammer is keeping me on the phone. I said, Lauren at the bank wants me to call her. He said, oh yeah, she's in the office right next to mine. We're all working on your account. Okay. I kept on doing what they said. He said, go to your bank and withdraw this money in cash. Now, your banker's going to ask why you don't just want a cashier's check. So you'll have to be very convincing and say, well, I'm working with a contractor on several projects at my house, and he wants to be paid in cash. So they packaged up bundles of $100 bills and put them in a bag for me. Now I started home, and I told the scammer who had kept me online that I was on my way home. And he said, no, don't do that. Make a U-turn, go to that other branch and withdraw the rest of the money. I did what I was told. Now I'm at home with stacks of $100 bills. He said, take a picture and send me the picture so I'll know you've done this. I did that. I took a picture and sent it to him. He said, that's good. Now, don't tell anyone anything. Don't turn your computer on, because if I had done that, I could have checked some of what they were saying. Just put that money in a small box and wrap that box completely with duct tape. I went to find my duct tape. I found a small box. I put the money in it. I wrapped it with duct tape. Now, he said, someone will come to your door to pick up that package. Just give it to the man, and he will take it, and we'll put it in the Federal Reserve System, and then in 2 days, we'll transfer it back to you. It's hard to believe I could be that foolish, but I'm doing what I was told, so I wrap it all up. And now I'm beginning to wonder, because not all of this seems entirely reasonable. He's still on my phone. He says, do you need a drink of water? Please take care of yourself. Is your phone charged up? Do you have a charger in your car? Do you need to sit down and rest a bit? I know you're an older lady. On it went. Now I receive calls from my son who's in Los Angeles, and he says, Mom, I need to talk to you. And I say, not now. Pretty soon, police are surrounding my house. My bank has kicked in their fraud alert system. And those people, the real people, the one in charge of that system, it's past her workday. She takes her cell phone with her. She calls my son because his name is also on my account in Los Angeles. My son calls 911 in Los Angeles, and they bounce him around and back to Waverly, Iowa, and the sheriff's department. The sheriff has to notify the police department. Okay, this is a small town. It's just one building. The sheriff is here, the police are here. So the sheriff walked down the hall and told the police. So they have come to do a welfare check. They talked to my son and asked if I should be alone in my house. And he said, yes. They came, they looked in all the windows and in the garage windows, and I saw them. So I stepped out, and one of the officers came in with me, and I showed him that document that had been on my computer. He said immediately, that's a scam. We're seeing it all over town. You are the third person we've talked to. He said, hang up. Well, I didn't need to hang up because as soon as I said the police are here, that scammer hung up. Now, I have that little box of thousands of dollars neatly wrapped up, and the police said, this is an Uber desert. If Uber had been here earlier and you had given the driver that money, you would never see it again. But because this is an Uber desert, we got here first. So now I had those bundles of money, and this is on a Friday. I have to keep them until Monday because my little bank is not open on Saturday and Sunday except for electronic deposits. And I'm going to have to talk to people in person. So Dan and I talk about where I shall hide the money for the weekend. We thought one of those garbage cans on wheels full of puppets might be good. It was kind of exciting to carry around that reusable grocery bag full of $100 bills. Monday morning, I went to the bank. I took 2 bags with me. One had my notes in it because, I like to do it in writing. So I had those phone numbers and all that. The other bag was full of thousands of dollars worth of $100 bills. And I told him I was going to bring a third bag, but I couldn't find one big enough to hold my humiliation. They were really nice to me. They helped me set up a new bank account. And then they gave me a list of all the automatic payments, automatic deposits, because I had to go one by one and change those to the new account. All of them had a different system for doing that. I had to prove I was me. I had to prove I had the new account. I had to give them all sorts of information, but one by one through the next month, I did get it all transferred. In the meantime, my bank headquarters called my son in Los Angeles again and asked him to get a copy of the police report. Honest, I live 2 miles from the police department. I said, I'll take care of it. So the first thing I did was go and buy 2 large boxes of fresh donuts. And then I went to the police department and I said, I have donuts and thousands of thank yous. And I need a copy of the police report for when you came to my house. They grinned and let me in. The officer who'd come to my house was coming down the hall. It was time for him to leave. He took those donuts and held them to his heart and grinned. We don't thank those people often enough. And then they gave me the report. I took that report to my bank. First, I stopped and bought more donuts. They grinned too. We got everything transferred. It took about a month. And I would guess that you don't know how many automatic things you have set up with your bank. It's a lot. So it's a happy ending, but just barely. And I am grateful for my bank and their fraud department, for my son who knew that he could dial 911 in Los Angeles and get to Waverly, Iowa. And I'm grateful for being an Uber desert and for the police department that took my son seriously. It's a happy ending, but just barely. Oh, do be careful. If they say don't tell anyone, tell everyone you can.